Hello, I'm Shannon Skinner, and welcome to another episode of Extraordinary Women TV. Now, my guest today is Hassel Aviles. She is the founder of the Toronto Underground Market, a first of its kind social food market. Hello, Hassel. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So nice to have you here. Now, you started something that's very cool, the Toronto Underground Market, TUM for short. You were once a stay-at-home mom, though, of 2 kids. Now you're a very busy entrepreneur. What happened there in your life that changed you from being a stay-at-home mom to being a very successful entrepreneur?
Well, thank you for that. I really was ready to do something for myself again. And as much as I enjoyed being a stay-at-home mom, I did it for 4 years. But I really wanted to do something that made me happy. And the reason why I started TUM was also it had to do with family, because my husband had big dreams of opening a restaurant. And it's quite difficult to open a restaurant if you don't have massive capital. So I started to do lots of research about the food industry and how to get into the food industry and how to find unique ways to start a food business. And that's when I came across the underground market concept.
So there was nothing like it here?
There is nothing like the Toronto Underground Market in the city, let alone the country.
Well, I have to tell you, this summer, the people in my office were talking a lot about the Toronto Underground Market.
Really?
Oh yeah, oh yes, very much so.
Oh, that's amazing.
So there's a lot of excitement around it, but I mean, really, what is it that makes it so different?
The Toronto Underground Market is unique in the sense that it is meant to promote, well, it was created to promote budding food entrepreneurs and Toronto home cooks. So it is a venue to showcase your products. And what's really unique about it is that anyone can apply. So the reason why I was drawn into it was the idea of passion being enough and skill not necessarily being defined by your school education or your work experience, but by what you're actually producing. So my husband has no culinary background. He's never trained in a proper food institution, but I knew he could do it, and I believed in him, and I knew that there was for sure thousands of other people like him that felt the same and had the desire and the strong will to pursue a food dream, but didn't have that place to make their mark. So when I heard of the Underground Market, I immediately thought, this is perfect for Toronto. There's so many different kinds of food, ethnic cuisines here, and so many different kinds of people that would want to be involved. I had no idea how fast and how quickly it was going to grow, but that's what really, I think, drew me into it, and that's why it's so unique, is because anyone can do it.
So give us an idea then of what happens at these events. And if I was somebody to participate, what could I expect to see and experience?
Well, it's different depending on how you participate. So I like to call them the 3 V's. There's visitors, volunteers, and vendors. So as a visitor, if you bought a ticket to TUM, you would experience a really fun, unique, loud, busy event where there's incredible, delicious, unique vendors that you, for the most part, can't find anywhere else in the city because of the street food regulations that we have. As a volunteer, you would experience a very fast-paced event and a very welcoming environment. TUM wouldn't exist without volunteers, so we love our volunteers. And as a vendor, you would experience a lot of chaos. You'd be very busy. We ask that you make a minimum of 500 portions of
500 portions?
Yes.
So I suppose, that's the difference between somebody that's a home cook and somebody that might be a professional restaurateur.
But a home cook can do it. They
Right.
just need to have the will.
Minimum 500 people who show up to 1,000.
Oh, no. We sell out at 2,200.
2,200 you sell out.
Yes.
Give me an example in terms of how the incubator works. I know that it's a business incubator as well. So let's talk a little bit about how that works and give us a sense of the kind of success that you've had with it.
So when it first started, I really didn't know how quickly it was going to take off, but as it grew, our network grew as well. And on Twitter, we have almost 10,000 followers. On Facebook,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Lots of people who love food, I guess.
Yes,
Right.
and lots of people who love Tum. On Facebook, we have almost 7,000 likes, and in addition to that, we have massive email lists and such. But that's the part of it that really helps us promote the vendors, is that when we tweet about them or when we post things about them on Facebook, there's a massive audience that's receiving this information, and they go on to retweet or share the information. In addition to that, there's always mainstream media involved in one way or another. So the way that the reason why I consider Tum to be an event-oriented food incubator is because many food businesses have started and continued to thrive because of Tum. For example, my husband, the reason why I started Tum, he did a couple pop-ups, and he did Tum for about 6 months and then was able to open his restaurant. And since then has been very, very busy and successful with it. And so his restaurant is called La Carnita, and they make Mexican-influenced street food. In addition to him, there's been, and I like to call them Tum alum. They're the Tum alumni.
The Tum alums.
The Tum alums. They're the ones who have graduated and maybe will come back, maybe not. Fidel Gastro is a business that was started by Matt Basile, and he now has a food truck, and also he is premiering a show early in the spring, I believe, of this year. There's also Rock Lobster, who recently opened its doors on Ossington Avenue here in Toronto.
Oh, that's great.
Restaurant.
So lots of success coming out of this idea that you had.
So to me, it's shocking, but so validating, and it makes me feel so proud, because that's why I started this, and the fact that now so many other people have been able to benefit from it is, I think, what makes Tum so unique. And so it was a passion project that turned into a business that is now turning into a social purpose business. So it's really exciting.
Well, congratulations to you. You must have had some challenges getting this organization off the ground. Always starting something from nowhere, something from nothing, is a challenge. But give me an idea of what some of the greatest challenges that you've had to face, and how did you push past them?
Well, initially the biggest challenge was figuring out how to make it legal. My biggest priority in the beginning stages was that I didn't want to put all of this time and effort into something that could be shut down.
Like the San Francisco market, which it's loosely based on, right? This is what happened.
Exactly.
Right.
And Iso Rabins was so lovely in helping me initially. He really guided me and helped answer all of my questions on how to structure an underground market here in Toronto. But he really couldn't help me in terms of the local restrictions and regulations. So I put a post on my blog looking for a lawyer to work pro bono. And I heard from an incredible woman named Carly Dunster, and she really helped and devoted so much time to helping me navigate through Toronto Public Health. And we figured out a way, and the way that we figured it out was that their biggest concern was that all food was prepped, stored, and cooked in a commercial kitchen. So once we figured out how to provide that commercial kitchen for all vendors,
right,
it wasn't a concern anymore for Toronto Public Health.
Right.
So we always keep them informed, and we went to them first, and that is a definite plus for us. Keeping them involved and letting them guide us through all of the regulations, I think really helped us.
For chefs, then they have to prepare the food in a commercial setting. So is it that they could rent out a restaurant if they had
if they choose to?
Yeah. Okay.
But in addition to that, the Evergreen Brickworks, where we've always had the Toronto Underground Market at, has a commercial kitchen on site.
Okay.
So in the past, we've always used that. In addition to that, we've also rented commercial kitchen space for them. And it may change this year. There's a couple things that may change this year, but that's how it's worked in the past.
So as a vendor would get a license from you. So they have to apply. Is that how it works?
Yes, they apply, and then it's almost, a lot of people like to think of it as an audition.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of is in one sense, but it's really, we judge on 3 factors, which are flavor, presentation, and variety. And variety really just means that we don't like to create a very competitive environment at TUM. So when I say variety, I don't mean that their food has to have a lot of variety. I mean that we're only going to let in 1 cupcake vendor per se. We don't want to let in 6 cupcake vendors, because then it may, affect one another. So the more unique your product, the higher a chance, I guess, of getting into TUM.
So where would you love for TUM to go, for the Toronto Underground Market? I mean, where would you love for this to go and grow and expand? What's your vision for it?
For us, our vision, I have a business partner, and Kate and I, we have a vision of growing it into more of a business versus a grassroots organization, because right now it really is volunteer run, and that obviously comes with its complications in terms of resources and in terms of time. So we'd like to figure out a way for TUM to be more of a sustainable business.
So Hassel, we've come to the point where it's my good to know minute, and I know you've got a great success tip. So jump right in there.
Okay, so my success tip is to face your fears. And being scared is not a good enough reason to not do something.
So face your fears. Well, thank you for being here today, and I wish you all the best with TUM, and I am looking forward to checking it out.
Great, thank you.